Remember, the base of the nose is very hard to work with. When you do a rhinoplasty, it's a difficult procedure because you have to have a feeling, a good feeling for aesthetics, especially back then when you couldn't make the computer reproductions. You can make gross errors and destroy a continent and actually make it more and more difficult for a personality to cover it. Church of the Transmutations. You take the gross features, the gross behaviors, the performances out there. You come to the empirical facts, the reality as you see it out there. I've got to know what I'm dealing with very specifically in terms of particulars, in terms of behaviors, in terms of results. What's the report? You have to learn a Church of Transmutations to give a running commentary on what you're doing. In other words, you have to prove that your words, that you're speaking in a public way, you have to make a public pronouncement, fit, match totally your body language, your behavior. You have to prove it, that you can listen to yourself in action. You can feel your posture. You can feel your body presence with a woman. Now, we're talking specifically about that for the short, small man like myself. In situation, you need to develop a good sense of timing. This is all part of, in my opinion, the personality, what I call the personality package. The visuals, the contact, the effectiveness of that contact. So establishing a rapport using the Milt Erickson, Tony Robbins techniques, mix and match, mirror and match rather, can be effective. That means you get into the rhythm with the individual you're talking to. Now, if you're 76 like I am, it'd be very hard. I am truly an old man with infirmities, limiting infirmities, but truly an old man. It's very hard to get around those limitations that literally debilitate an appearance personality show. That means the energy, the phony show energies you see to con an illusion of enthusiasm and energy, the phony smiles, the phony behaviors to buzz each other, and the behavior that I have a lot of compassion for. The competition is horrendous. The imbalance socially we go between men and women is horrendous. You have to do whatever it takes to stand out from the herd and the mob and get attention. That's what entertainers, quote unquote, some are better than others, but their obligation is to be audience pleasing. They know how to suck all the attention out of the room. They're trained to do this. So you're up against wile and guile. You're up against gamesmanship and the Church of the Transmutation evaluates what you have in your tool armory to stand up to that. So we look at, again, your body, personality, your behavior. The behaviors are everything. The observables are everything. We take a look at your proportions. We take a look and report on you aesthetically. How do you look aesthetically? We look and take very tough consideration of your mockability, stereotype, caricaturing potential predicated on the way you look and the way you behave. We give a good account. We generate a very powerful indictment against you. We go into all the negative, and we spend a lot of time in the negative, a lot of time presenting the case against you, predicated strictly on the observables and the arguments we make from the observables. So we begin with that. We begin with, and Mr. Trump said it. He's right. In this area, he is right, from New York. We begin with a very clean, clear, ruthless statement of the problem in the most direct way possible, such that the village idiot can understand what we've got to work with. It always begins with, before we start anything in the Church of the Transmutations, I got to know what I've got to work with. To begin with, I ask, what kind of shape are you in physically? Are you strong? Are you powerful? Then we question your mind. How strong is your mind? How powerful is your ability to stand, to win? Self-sufficiency and self-supports. Aufgeheben, overcome the other, don't need him. And in that sense, I mean, you have to be a rock in an island. Of course, the Zion is mit-Zion. Of course, that's true. What this means is human reality needs a social background. That's the other social actors. And we always ask the question, if a man says, friend, what do you say, friend? What have we ever done together that makes us friends? Why do you throw around a word like that and you don't know what you're talking about? Same thing with this notion of love. Now, I'm a singer. I'm an amateur singer. But there's a difference. When I sing, I present a fantasy of romance. That's my job. And I'm the phony. I'm not the originator. I'm just taking what a great lyricist has put down for me to say. I'm the dummy. He's put the words into my mouth, and I'm just interpreting it. If I do it accurately, if I recreate the sentiment and give it life and breath, that's my job as a singer. But I'm taking somebody else's words. He's the genius, not me. I believe, give credit where credit's due. I believe, look in the mirror and know what you see there. I believe in the nights of the mirror, in a pure daylight that watches, that provides the circle around the subject with a mirror so he can see himself behaving. And the lead night interrogates and pushes him, just like Fritz Perls and Hard Gestalt, puts him in a position, makes him, the subject, defend his existence and his meaning, put up or shut up. And we have all the nights that tell him what they see. And as they're telling him, they're showing him them, flashing the mirrors in his face so he can see what he looks like. He can see how he's behaving. He can see his posture. He can hear himself talk because they're playing it right back to him. Then we go around, and each night critiques our subject hard, ruthlessly. And the subject keeps on turning, but he's in the center of a circle in bright daylight. So all the phoniness is there for each one of the knights to observe and report on. Church of the Transmutations, we have to know what we've got to work with concretely. When does a man stop running away from himself? How does a man live with himself if he continuously runs and hides?